Hey guys, what's going on? Shaw here, and today we're gonna have a little quick talk about Guardian Druid on beta and what it's currently looking like. Now, supposedly we're supposed to get some updates, which is pretty cool, but until those come, we're kind of sitting around waiting, twiddling our thumbs. So I'm gonna talk about why Guardian Druid's kind of struggling and why we're waiting to see some changes. So let's open up the talent tree and take a look. Now, I'm mostly going to be focused on the Guardian point side of things. I'm going to be ignoring the class tree. The class tree is fine. I don't think it has too many issues. Like, there's some things that they could probably change, but I think we're going to really focus on the Guardian tree. Let's reset our talents here. Now, I don't really know where to start, so I apologize if I'm kind of back and forth or a little ranty on this one. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, but a lot of you guys have been asking me both in Discord as well as in my stream my thoughts on Guardian Druid and how does it feel, and are you going to main it, or why are you main swapping, because I make videos about other tanks. I'm not main swapping. I don't plan on it. I really enjoy Guardian Druid. If it went live in this state, I would definitely swap, but we're assuming that they're going to make some changes. And here are some changes that I would like to see. Hopefully they don't post changes right after I make this video, because that'll be embarrassing, just like my Prot Warrior one that I did yesterday. Let's take a look. So like all trees, you have to kind of start at the top. And you have to kind of work your way down and take some talents that would just kind of make sense or have been in the base kit. For example, like rank 2 Mangle, your Ursign Adept, your Gore, your Survival Instincts. These are all kind of core components of the Guardian Druid, so this makes sense. It's once you get to this point that kind of feels weird to me, because you only have 3 more points to spend to break out into the next area, and you have to hit either of these capstones, which on a lot of tanks you're seeing this pattern, but there's a lot more flexibility with other tanks and other class trees. So if we're building down, we can obviously go into Berserk Ravage, but that only gives us access to the middle of the tree, so we definitely need to go into Innate Resolve or Gory for here. Now, if you want to play the Moonfire build, you're forced to go down this hard right side of the tree, instead of maybe being able to jump over or across somehow. So I'm hoping to see a rework here. So for example, let's just say I didn't want to play Gory Fur because I don't want to play it. I don't like the RNG nature of a Mangle giving me reduced rage cost of Iron Fur. It just doesn't bother me. So I go Brambles and Innate Resolve. At this point, there is no possible way for me to ever play Scintillating Moonlight with Twin Moonfire. I can maybe get Galactic Guardian and the Fury of Nature shit down here, but that's it. So let's just say I want to get over here. So I have to take a Reformer, which means I have to spend a talent point to get here. Now, yeah, I could not take Innate Resolve, but now, same thing on the other side. I'll never be able to play with Positive Outlook or Earth Warden, which feels really bad. And let's just say I didn't want to play with Berserk Ravage for some reason, which will never happen. I think you'll always be taking Berserk Ravage. You don't play with it, you go Innate Resolve. You still have access to the middle of the tree, which is great, but you like now have to play without Berserk Ravage, which is just dumb, and there's no way to work back up or collect it. So, feels horrible. Yeah, feels really bad. Feels really bad to have to spend these points to get down here, but not like more easily we could just go Berserk Ravage, maybe Survival Instincts rank 2, and then go down the middle of the tree and kind of take all these like big Maul talents. So if you wanted to play a Maul build, it's all right here in the center. It's focus. It gives you access still to the bottom half of the trees, which is great. So we can go Berserk here. But then it's like, all right, we have to spend another point somewhere. So maybe we'll go Stam Roar. Maybe we'll go Galactic Guardian. And now we have access down here and we can hit a couple of capstones. But we're missing out on kind of the beefier talents in these trees, like the Moonfire build and the Thrash build. So this feels really bad. This feels clunky. We're not ever able to access these despite us wanting to go Berserk Ravage. So let's just come back. Berserk Ravage, and then we can go Positive Outlook, Earth Warden into Berserk. And like, let's just say we didn't want to do Tooth and Claw, but we wanted Vulnerable Flesh. Well, that's not a possibility ever. These are basically linked together talents. We couldn't even go Vicious Cycle into Vulnerable Flesh. So this needs to be linked. I mean, this doesn't have to be linked, but in a lot of other trees, you're seeing this ability to work around talents, which Guardian Druids don't have. You're being forced down this side of the tree. This is it. These are the talents right here that I'm going to be able to pick from. I can't go into this side without I can't go Vulnerable Flesh. I can't get down here without playing down the center of the tree. So you either have to play Tooth and Claw or you have to play Layered Main. And like, that's kind of fine, but then it gets even more disjointed. So let's come back to Ravage. Let's go Ravage, and let's just say we want to play with both sides of a combination of both sides of the tree. Cool. Positive Outlook, super broken. This is basically Ursa's Fury Remembered, but better, well, part of it. And then we have Earth Warden, really powerful Mythic Plus tool, and then Unchecked Aggression we want to take. Okay, now we've already unlocked this half of the tree, but to get to Moonfires, we have to play Girl Reaper, and now we have Scintillating Moonlight. Cool, now we have access to it. But now, we don't have access to the middle of the tree. Like, it's so fucking frustrating that this is a thing. So now it's like, okay, let me spend more talents in the middle of the tree to get down to Fear of Nature. Cool, now I can play Circle of Life and Death and Loon's Favored for the Moonfire build. Now I have 2 points left at level 67 and I can't get to any of these capstones because the tree fucking sucks. You don't have access to work around talents. It's so fucking, despite tuning, put aside tuning, put aside what's gonna be meta or best, how inflexible this talent tree is actually boggles me now looking at some of these other talent trees. For example, like Warrior, you can zigzag all over the Warrior tree and get to the exact talents you want that you want to play. Will it be optimal? No, but is it fun? Yeah, you have freedom to choose. This tree has no freedom. Cool, we can take Incarn, but now it's like, now we have no of the other capstones, and we're gonna have 1 more point available. We don't even get our module bonus. Okay, maybe I can weaken Berserk by unchecking aggression. Now I can get the module bonus. Maybe I can go for a second survival instincts charge. Even with our 2 extra points, we can go maybe get Rage of the Sleeper, but then we don't have this capstone. We can also backtrack and try to come down this side of the tree, but with 2 more points, we can't even get to this capstone. It's like so mind-boggling how short-sighted this tree is. And then like a little other side rant is that like things like Infected Wounds, Vicious Cycle, just like underwhelming. The only mid-section talent that we're gonna have access to, so that would be Vicious Cycle, Infected Wounds, Ursac's Endurance, or Galactic Guardian, that makes sense, would be Galactic Guardian. This is actually a really hard-hitting ability. It trucks. You want to apply Moonfire anyways. It generates rage. Really good choice. Extra radius on Stampeding Roar? Not that great. A stacking buff that increases maul damage. I mean, like, sure, if you're going to a maul single target build, maybe, but for Mythic Plus will never happen. Infected Wounds, a single target slow, come on. I have a fix for this, actually. I've talked about this a little bit on stream, but make this apply to Thrash, but don't do the 50% slow, maybe a 30% slow or a 20% throw on Thrash or Swipe. Then Guardian Druids have an AoE slow. It's not great. You know, you already have things like Keg Smash in the game. Thunderclap also provides a slow to the mobs that you hit with it. Why can't Thrash? Why can't there be a talent choice to have a slow to Thrash? That just makes sense. You're making them bleed. You're giving them wounds with Thrash, but no, it has to be a Mangle. It has to be a Maul. Increased duration on Barkskin and like what? So it's like these talents just like don't feel like you'll ever take. So it just forces you down these like narrow little alleyways that still just, it's not cohesive at all. The fact that like if you play Moonfire build and go into the center with Incarn, sure, fine, but then it's like if you're playing Incarn, like you don't really care about, you want to still hit Thrash during Incarn because you're playing Berserk Ravage, then you could be like, okay, well maybe then you don't play Berserk Ravage, but then why are you choosing Incarn? And then the build kind of stops here and there's no capstone that kind of highlights and finishes off this tree. I wish they would bring back something cool, but like actually make it really strong. Like, what's that? Fury of a Loon, or not Fury of a Loon. There was a ability in BFA. BFA Guardian Druid talents. Lunar Beam. Do you guys remember Lunar Beam? If they gave like Lunar Beam, but like made it really strong as a capstone, that would be cool. It was so underwhelming that it like you would never actually play this. Very, very rarely would you ever play this. Give us something cool like this to kind of round out the Galactic Guardian Druid build. Give us like, let us call down a beam every like 45 seconds, every minute that like gives us a massive DR and just like does a ton of damage, generates rage, stuff like that, right? That would make this build a little bit more cohesive. Right now it kind of stops halfway through the tree and then you're kind of like left with like, okay, then I'm gonna maybe play Incarn, which plays into like Thrash, which then plays into the left side of the tree. Then do I drop Scintillating Moonlight, like Twin Moonfire talents? And then it's just so disjointed. These capstones don't feel rewarding. You know, baking in like an Incarn and then maybe like our 2 set, right? Like let Barkskin give us Berserk, because then maybe we actually play like Survival of the Fittest again to like get Barkskin down so we have like little Incarn windows or little Berserk windows. I still play, even at level 67, I'm still playing with my 2 set bonus because it still feels good to play. And without it, I just feel like it's going to be really dry all the time. So yeah, that's just like, yes, this is why it's turning into a rant and not cohesive at all, because I just don't know where to go with this talent tree. But give us some cooldown reduction on Incarn, or give us like little Incarn windows after using Bark Skin. Finish this. This was such a good idea with Galactic Guardian. Like that would have been so fun for this expansion, except it falls short. It just stops here at Elun's Favored. And then on top of that, like this build is blocking Incarn, which is what like would be the Thrash build. So yeah, I don't know. This is why the Guardian Druid tree is frustrating, and those are some changes that I would like to see. So allow us to actually navigate around talents instead of through them. Clean up some of these random pointless talents like Vicious Cycle, Infected Wounds. Finish off the Guardian Druid like Moonfire build tree, and then like just fix these the capstones. Let us have multiple capstones like other classes have. Warrior has access to multiple capstones. Brewmaster Monk has access to multiple capstones if they want. Those are the tanks that I've pretty much tested. It looks like VDH can have multiple capstones as well. At level 60 or 62 or 64 or whatever it is, Guardian Druid has access to like one capstone at like almost at endgame. So, rant over. Anyways, if you guys like to see Guardian Druid suffer, feel free to follow me on Twitch. I play beta almost daily as well as do keys on live. I'm pushing, trying to get, not going to get rank 1 this season because that's not possible with Bear. But if you'd like to see me suffer on stream, feel free to check me out there. And we also have a Discord server. Links are both down below. Huge shout out to all my Patreons. Thank you guys so much for the support. If it wasn't for you, I would be doing a lot less of this type of content. So again, thank you all for watching. Hope you're staying happy, healthy, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.